Well, we want to go back to the latest on health care reform. The Senate is on the verge of passing a bill by Christmas. Still, there are some major differences between the House and Senate versions. With me now is Virginia Congressman Gerry Connolly. Good to have you here with us.
Good to be back, Andrea.
You heard the Republican critics. They're calling this backroom deals, sweetheart deals that stink to high heavens. Is this a bill, from what you've seen the Senate craft, something that will easily be reconciled with the House bill, or the difference is that wide?
I don't know how easy it's going to be to reconcile, because there are some major differences. There's the public option difference, there's the pay-for difference, and then, of course, there's some other language that obviously is going to separate the two. But I don't, I think this is what the conferences are for. I don't think that the differences are irreconcilable. And with respect to that criticism, frankly, I wish those same people had been willing to sort of play in the game. They decided in advance, no matter what was in the bill, they were going to oppose it. That's not an intellectually honest position, and I think these are crocodile tears they're crying today.
Are we settling for just having a bill? The president has even said a bill of any kind is better than no bill at all. Is that what the public really wants? Something rather than nothing?
Well, I think that's maybe shortchanging the bill. I mean, the Senate bill, for example, is fully paid for, has very fundamental reforms. They're going to make a huge difference for in the lives of average Americans, and it brings down the cost curve and reduces the deficit in the first 10 years by $132 billion, but in the second 10 years by over $1 trillion. That's a very significant advance. It helps the budget, and it helps provide health care for 30 million additional Americans, and ends the onerous practices of health insurance companies denying people based on previous existing conditions, for example.
You're talking about bringing down the deficit. You're very concerned about doing that, as are the Republicans. And in a way, it seems like you took a Republican stance. You voted against the legislation, the Jobs from Main Street, worrying about the deficit.
Yes.
And that's using the excess TARP money to fund jobs.
I'm on record as saying, I wrote the leadership saying, I think the excess TARP money first should be used for deficit reduction. We had an opportunity to have the largest single pay down on a deficit in American history, and unfortunately, on a very narrow vote, the House decided to use that money for, I think, a phony bill. They said it was a jobs bill. They know the Senate's not going to act on it at all, and it was political cover for a lot of my colleagues on my side of the aisle, frankly, to be able to go home saying I did something about jobs, knowing full well, as a matter of fact, you really didn't. And I think the stimulus is, in fact, working. We don't need another stimulus by any other name until we see how the stimulus plays out.
Incumbents are worried, especially Democrats, who are seen as just spending, spending, spending. Republicans are particularly targeting you. How are you fighting back?
I've been in office for 15 years. My voters know me. I'm bringing my conscience to bear on everything I vote on, and I'm confident, with my relationship with my district and my voters, I'll fare fine.
Simple Neal said all politics is local, and for the locality you represent, you've done pretty good by these constituents. Talk about some bills dealing with gang violence, with transportation, roads.
Right. We've been able to bring investments back home to the district. The Northern Virginia Gang Task Force, which was originally the idea of my Republican colleague, Frank Wolf. I was proud to support it, both as chairman of the county and now as a member of Congress myself. Lots of transportation money coming both to Prince William County and to Fairfax County that otherwise we would not get, given the state of the financial affairs of the Commonwealth of Virginia. So some very key projects. For example, one of the most important projects, besides Rail to Dulles, is the completion of the Parkway. And we're going to get that done, frankly, with stimulus money. And we've been waiting 30 years to complete the Fairfax County Parkway. And it's a key link to making sure that the BRAC, the Base Realignment and Closure Commission recommendations down at Fort Belvoir, are implemented.
The president graded himself. How would you grade your past year's performance?
I'm going to leave that up to the voters, Andrea. It'd be presumptuous for me to grade myself.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
And happy holidays to you and all of you.
See you in the new year.
Thank you.
We'll be back.